Right, so hello everybody. We are back to try this again. My game for some reason was messing us about there, and we basically were having a problem trying to load through um, part of the mod for you all, and part of the mod that you actually needed to see, which was the key. Hey Mage, thank you very much for coming back. This is our third try at this tonight. The last time I actually got bumped off, and it just turned to chaos on us from then. So, as I say, fingers crossed, we will be able to actually let you see where the key is, where all of the keys are, and the store of little weapons goodies that is hidden here in paradise for you all. So fingers crossed we will actually get this to work this time. Otherwise I'm actually going to strangle my PlayStation 4. Seriously. It's just me and the PlayStation 4 are just going to get a divorce. I'll marry the PlayStation 3 instead. I would love them to remaster 3 and New Vegas, but I think they are actually working on a side game at the moment, so I wouldn't go holding my breath on it. But and that and the fact that you do actually now have backward compatibility for New Vegas on the Xbox One. Unfortunately, PlayStation 4 isn't offering backward compatibility, but you can play New Vegas and you can play Fallout 3 on the Play Store, but you can't stream them or record them, which is a bit of a stupid thing, really. Um, Whenever Xbox is allowing with backward compatibility any other games to be streamed, so yeah, PlayStation really are doing themselves out of a lot of things at the moment, so they are. Right, okay, that came through a lot quicker than it has been coming through. So let's feed her. She need more water. Yep, she needed more water, okay. Right, let's get her out of here. I haven't even heard of it, Pavel, and welcome back to the stream again. Thank you very much for joining us on this one. Now, you see, I have heard of... I have actually heard of the Fallout 3 project that was actually cancelled, and there's still the New Vegas one going. Hey, Sam. Don't you sound so happy? Right, so where we're heading, everybody, is over to the research ship. Oh, thank you. And over at the research ship is basically where you'll find out the story behind this entire half of the mod. And there are also a lot of things to kill. And there is a nice little room all locked up with loads and loads of weapons in it. Okay, that's more like it. This time they were ready for me. Kill it. That dude's going to shoot the person beside it. That was nice of him. She's feeling a little bit more smooth at the moment. Oh, look at that. Now that's cool. Slow-mo death. Try harder. Chaos, panic, and destruction. My work here is done. The Brahmin have managed to escape. Brilliant. I do. I've been having a brilliant time with that slow-mo. Thanks a lot, Sam. Right, this requires a key. So far, this room looks pretty... I can hear gunners. Yep, we've got them. Brilliant. Okay, we've got what we needed. We just needed to reboot the entire system there for a minute. It was in its funny half hour, guys and dolls. We kept like trying and nothing was happening for us. Hey, Kate. There she is. Yeah, we've got our enemies. And we've got locked doors. Beautiful. What's that banging noise? Right, someone just threw a grenade at me. From where? Somebody from the other side just chucked a grenade at me. Oh, there you are. Keep trying, boys. Didn't miss you for that long. There we are. Where is she? Well, you're one determined assaultatron. I could just hack you and put you down. I'm being nice by killing you. Any more of you? Right. Requires a key. Running in circles. Requires a key. Open door. No. That requires a key. Is it that way? Yeah, there she is. Right. I'm so not down here. Oh yeah, he's dead. Could you move, please? Your body's in the way. Oh, we'll have a guess who got lost again. Yeah, he's dead. Meep, meep. Right, went that way. Seriously? There it is. Sorry, guys. I was got distracted there, killing everything around me. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? I've got a special place down in New Vegas, grows me non-mutated fruit and veg, and I get cranberries sent up to me. Yeah, it's a present for from Kaiser for being so good at my job. He's given me my own little farm down there. Now, in case you hadn't caught on, guys, this is a maze. It's one of Groove's creations. And last night I managed to stumble my way around it and managed pot luck to actually get what I needed. Tonight I don't seem to be having that amount of luck. Do I think I know where I need to get to? So, not 100% sure though, guys and dolls, but I think I know. Yeah, you lock and load all you want, mate. When you manage to catch me, let me know. If you're wondering why I'm using this ring so much, one, it's brilliant fun, and two, I'm actually on survival. Um, and there is the key for research ship key deck 3. Okay. So you come in through those doors over there, around here, and there is the deck 2 key. So anybody looking for your deck 2 key, here you are. No, Wilbus's head is not on a pike. Wilbus's head is still on his shoulders. Trust me. Let's stack one up there. What did I just get attacked by? You're not dead. Yeah, make sure you are dead. These doors are attacking me up the back again. Oh, I wish I could use that bed. Oh, wrong door. No, shut that again. Right, so here's your computers, everybody. So you have this computer here, which is Peter's computer, and this computer here is by Dr. Roberts. Made you leave Wilpus alone. So as you can see, it takes a little bit to load through, and these are all of your entries. So, give me 1 second. Welcome back, Sam. Yep, Dr. Roberts says the first chapter. Mage, if you kill Wolpus, I'm going to go over and I'm going to kill Kimball again. I would say I kill Mura, but every time I go to the dam hunting for her, she's gone into hiding. She runs and hides. Right, so give me 2 seconds, everybody. This is going to take some work. Atlantis site, day 1, September the 8th, 2077. After years of research and planning, I have finally found it, the lost city of Atlantis. Everybody laughed at me, now who's laughing? Already the images from the underwater drone look fantastic. Can't wait to dive down there tomorrow myself and touch it with my own hands. There's so much down there to look at it. I almost ran out of air and barely made it back to the surface. There are the obelisks down there that give off light. They're stone and they give off light. At first they weren't lit up, but after we shined our lights on them, they started to light up themselves. Amazing. Feel the pain. There's no pain in this, but he's all happy and excited. And my roll up keeps going out on me. I have found so much stuff down there, and there's still more buildings down there to go through. We managed to find several of these stones uncut and got them and a couple of the obelisks up here to study. We also found a tablet, but we're unable to decipher the language. Something strange though. The waters here are clean, no salt. We're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and the waters around Atlantis are clean. Doesn't make any scientific sense. Maybe it's something in the city itself. Something we have yet to find that is purifying the water of the city. Amazing. Was that better for you, Sam? And if you think I'm reading out everyone. I found an axe today. Not sure what the metal is that it is made from, but it's light. A person could easily wield it with one hand. With one hand. Apologies. We found a warhammer along with the axe. Seems the Atlantean race wasn't as advanced as some thought. Really, dude, you haven't seen the damage those things do. I've actually seen the pictures. You can actually see the images under the ice, the circular images under the ice. That was a few years ago. Mage, you do know everybody in the Legion is known as Lord Kaiser, Lord Lucius, Lord Wilpus, Lord Lanius. You know, which one? We got into the lower half of the castle today and we couldn't believe our eyes. Guns. They had guns. Well, we found one gun anyway. And the door was on a switch that seems to be powered by something made, maybe those stones. Found some ammo too. So they were more advanced, it appears. Can't wait to show all the naysayers back home. Mm. Worries me that type of stuff doesn't need to fall into anybody's hands. I found a couple of more tablets today. Still haven't made any headway on reading them, but with more study, that'll make it easier to translate. If only I hadn't broken my Pip-Boy. It may have been helpful in translating the text when I get enough of it. That is, we'll have to pick up one when we get back to New York for supplies. Had my head so deep in my work I forgot about the world around me, and now it's gone. It looks like the war took a turn for the worse. We didn't see the bombs themselves, but we did see their aftermath. Several waves moved around the ocean from every direction, along with the wind from the blast. Going to go and see if anything or anyone survived in a few days after most of the radiation is blown away. Got back to New York City today. I think it got hit hard. There's nothing left that is even recognizable. Even the land seems to have been changed with the bombs. Going to head south to see how everything else fared. Weird thing happened today. As we moved along the coast looking for survivors, some of the Atlantean tech that we had on the ship started to light up. As we were passing the lighthouse, could be the residual radiation. Seems Boston didn't get it that bad. Still a lot standing. Managed to find some survivors floating around in boats outside the city. We took some of them aboard, and the others were waiting for the radiation to die down so they can go look for loved ones. We wished them all the best and kept on heading south. Would have thought DC would have been destroyed, but it seems that it fared better than New York City. The military probably had fail-safes in place to protect the capital, rescued several more survivors, and starting to get low on supplies already. We had to make water rations now, and the crew are getting upset about the newcomers. Going to find some supplies. First place it's safe to go inland. Managed to get to this mansion built on a beach south of DC. The place seemed completely empty when we got there, but we were wrong. First we found blood, then we were attacked. Seems some of the gang that had attacked the family that was there, and we interrupted their attack. Thankfully I had my gun with me, and several crew members and survivors who came inland with me were killed or injured, but we managed to kill the gang. The place was stocked up with food too. Seems the owner had built the place here and prepped for the war, had a lifetime supply of food and water. Whoa. While getting into the basement where the food was, we discovered the owner's daughter. She was the only member of the family to make it into the bunker before the gang got to the rest. She said she saw what happened on the monitors, and she thanked us for her help. We managed to get most of the food out of the house before the friends of the gang showed up looking for them. We left most of the water since it was in tanks too huge to move and would have taken too long to transfer to the ship. Time the gang wasn't going to give us. We got to the last boat of food and with our people out of there and just let them have what little was left. Thankfully Mary had already come aboard yesterday. She didn't want to stay in the house anymore. She said we could have all the supplies and guns that her father had put together if we would take her with us. Thank God for those guns. We couldn't have held off the gang a second time with what we had. Got all that food, but still low on clean water. We all decided to head back to Atlantis since the waters there are clean and safe. As we headed back up the coast, we could see the gangs of people looting, fighting, and killing each other. Things somehow seemed to be getting worse. Whatever wasn't blowing up, it's falling apart. I thought we were better than this as a species. Just got back to Atlantis today. We were picking up maydays from all over the place. We sent them a message with our location. Some of the others weren't sure it was a good idea, but I told them that our food wouldn't hold out forever and we'll eventually need to go and get more supplies, and it would be easier in a smaller boat than this large ship. We had so many people respond to the message and quickly ran out of room below deck. Fortunately, one of the boats that responded had a tugboat pushing a barge of junk, some of which can be used to build some structures above deck for some to live in. One of the other boats had some plants that with enough care could eventually become crops that could feed us all, only need to get some soil off the ocean floor. Been a year now. Work on the settlement is going well and the crops did fine. Growing into the soil we brought up from below. Turns out that it was rich in nutrients and the plants rooted a lot quicker. Things seems to be going well with me and Mary too. She's moved into my quarters with me and we're starting to talk family. Funny. Spent my whole life searching for Atlantis and now I live in the waters above it and I haven't had time to get back down there. Why bother? Who is there left to show my work to? I was showing Mary around the lab today and all of the artifacts and weapons we found. While looking at one of the guns, she pressed the trigger and shot me in the chest. Thankfully the power cell was low and it only shocked me and burned a hole in my shirt. I can't believe after all this time, some 20,000 years, the gun still works. I haven't come down here in years now. Mary thinks I should start my research back up. Maybe we could learn something or find something that could help us, help the world. I've been diving down there now for several months and we found so much. We managed to find 2 more guns and some rebreather masks that allow for a person to breathe underwater for extended periods of time. This made further diving possible. We're almost out of oxygen tanks and would have had to stop diving last month. We wouldn't have found the temple, thanks to that's for sure. A small pyramid in the center has a door that has been locked, but there's no lock or door handle like the one we found at the castle. Came back onto the ship today and Mary confronted me with the amulet. I found out one of the Atlantean tablets. She said she was looking at the strange writing on it and she noticed some of the characters on it is Alcadian. I can't pronounce that, sorry people, and could possibly be the oldest on the planet. She could make out a few of the letters on both tablet and amulet, but still couldn't make sense of it. But we're a little closer. Forgot to look for a Pip-Boy the last time we went on shore. Not sure if I could find one anymore. Tell me about it, I need to. Mary told me today she's pregnant. I'm gonna be a dad. Mary had our baby boy today. We're calling him Alan, after Mary's father. If only we hadn't found some cigars on our last out, would have been nice today. Groove, that sentence made no sense. You're going to see what the Atlanteans had soon. Well, Groove's Atlanteans. Been years since I was down there. Been running this settlement and raising my family. Mary and I are planning on taking Alan on a dive to Atlantis for his 16th birthday. Hadn't been down there in years myself. They have been working on the tablets and the amulet with some books we found the last time we went inland. They are hoping they will find something else down there that will help them in their translations. I'll look for more books the next time I go inland. Hopefully we can find the part for the tug the next time too. I'm worried it won't make it for much longer, and it's our only means of getting inland now since we built all of this onto the ship. Okay, Groove. Apple. The tug broke down on the guys on their way back here from the inland and sent out a mayday. We heard about, we were unable to respond. Fortunately, someone was able to help them. He also found a tug and was able to pull ours back here and fix it for us. He even had some extra parts for us. He said he'd been travelling around gathering parts for years. We traded him some of the gold that we had found below. We really can't use it ourselves. Nice guy he was. A little strange looking though. He looked like a zombie. The guy said they almost shot him when he first pulled up. If he hadn't been talking to them on the radio, they may have. He said that normal people inland are calling people like him ghouls. Where did I get to? Alright, got that one done. Made some headway on the translation program for the Pip-Boy. When I can find one, it should just connect and update the Pip-Boy so the wearer will be able to read the tablets. Mary and Alan still have a lot more to translate, and as they do, they should be able to update the program as we go. What's wrong with my accent? Right, the guy that's mentioned on the tug, okay, the guy that came out to help with the tug, the boat that we actually took from Paradise to here, that's the man who owned that tug, and his story is back in Paradise, so we can read it over there. Now you're making me blush. Thank you. Oh my God. After an unusually cold morning, Peter slipped on the deck, hit his head on the railing before falling overboard and drowning. It was hours before we found his body. We all had a funeral for him on the upper deck and a week afterwards down here in our private quarters. He'll be missed by everyone on board. None of us would be here today if it was not for the work, effort and self-sacrifices he made just to ensure our survival and the growth of this settlement. I just hope I can do good as he did leading this group. This hit Alan pretty hard. He won't come out of his room for the funeral or the wake. He's just been working on translating the tablets. He said that's what Dad would want. I'm going to retire and pass the torch to Alan. He's ready to take charge, and I'm ready for a rest. There's been a lot going on since Peter passed, and I think passing the leadership to Alan now is better than waiting for me to pass as well. This way, he has me to come to if he has a trouble. Need to get him out of those books anyhow and stop his trips inland. Zombie. First day on the job. Just hope I make Dad proud. Come a long way on the translations over the years, but still no pit boys to be found. So, for the time being, Mum and I are kind of stuck. Guess I'll give running this settlement a try. Getting married to Janet next week. We've been dating for over 10 years now. Seriously, 10 years and the woman stuck around. Been really busy since I took over from Mum. Did a couple of more dives down to Atlantis on Dad's birthday to visit his grave. Looked around and found some writing on the wall. That has given me some ideas. My son Peter was born today. I named him after my dad. There were some complications though, and Janet didn't make it. Thank God for Mum. Without her, I don't think I could have made it over these last several years. She's been a big help with raising Peter, and even stepped in as leader of the settlement after Janet's death. Mum died today. She was getting old and it was her time. We laid her next to Dad. Now it's just me and Peter. Mum and I was teaching him about the Atlanteans and about Dad's work before her death. She said it was now our family's legacy as well. Took Peter on his first dive today. Took him around the city, showed him the temple, the warehouse district, the lighthouse, the castle. Before we came up, I showed him where we buried Mum and Dad. Haven't been feeling well lately, so I'm handing over leadership to Peter while I take a break and the doctor checks me out. Damn computer keeps fritzing out whenever I use it. Been doing that for years now, and I've lost several files from over the years due to the corruptions. Going to need to get another computer soon. Going to have to stop using this one or risk losing what data was left. Dad died today. He fought the sickness for months and never got better. I think I'll name my son Alan when he's born. Yeah, Groove. This one over here is a little bit harder to read. I reacted a little bit after I read it and went hunting gunners to be polite about it. So, right up here, you actually have Groove has put all these in. So that's Madrox. Mad was over on the last stream. Madrox is also a modder. This is Slim Dave. He also has a channel and reviews vids as well. Down here we have Chaos. His name is Chaos from Fallout. He is another YouTuber. Up here you have me, and beside me you have Gaz Arch, and Gaz Arch is another modder. So, right, now to the next computer, and believe it or not, there are about 30 entries on this one as well. Groove is determined to make me read. Took a lot of years, but we were finally able to get another computer. Our tug broke down and we got a hold of the guy who fixed it last time. That was before I was even born. Of course, I didn't believe him. I told him what we needed for the tug. When he asked if we needed anything else, I told him about the computer also. When he arrived, he didn't look human. That's when I remembered the story my grandfather told me about people called ghouls. Good thing too. I was about ready to give the order to shoot. Thank God I didn't. He had the part for the tug and another computer for us. After he fixed the tug, We invited him and his wife down to our private quarters for dinner. Little Alan was fascinated to meet his first ghoul. Adam and Eve left today, and yes, that is their names. Before he left, he took a look at the old computer and fixed it also. I'm going to have to use this new one though afterwards. I showed him some of the things that my great grandfather pulled up from below. He was saying that he lives on an island off the east coast that has some of the same features. I asked him if they had found anything with writings on it. He said no. He said the oddest thing is the island wasn't there before the Great War. We all said our goodbyes, and I told them that they would be welcome here. Always, or always welcome here, nearly. Since Adam fixed the old terminal, I've decided to read through the family history and come across something that may pertain to Adam's Island. Seems years ago, after the bombs, Grandad sailed in those waters, and there was something about the area activated some of the Atlantean tech that he had on board. My guess is something on board activated something there and caused that island to raise. I wonder if Atlantis was built the same way. If we could raise it, we would have enough land to expand the settlement and grow more food. That may be something to look into. Deciphering these tablets would go a long way towards better understanding what's going on. After several dives over the past few years, we still haven't really discovered anything new. Inland today, the tug was attacked by a gang as they were docked. They were able to hold the gang off long enough to escape. Sadly, Peter was hit in the stomach with a round that had lost a lot of blood. By the time they made it back here, he's with the doctor now, and there are 3 others hooked up to him to provide blood for him. It doesn't look good. It looks like it's up to me now to raise Alan and run the settlement. It's been hard running this place and raising Alan by myself. Thankfully, Rick was there for me and him. We're starting to get close. I think he says I should quit coming down here. Says it'll be harder to find closure if I still continue with the same cursed work as its family. I think he may be right. Dad Rick said he didn't want me down here anymore. I'm an adult now, and I'm going to do what I want. He knows that my real dad left the ship to me when he died, but now he seems to think that since he's having sex with my mum, he owns it. Lately, he's been telling people on the ship to call him Mer. I'm gonna need to do something soon. Rick found me down here today as I was reading some of my family's works from over the years. Amazing to know we are sitting on top of. I've heard some of the older people talking about Atlantis, but I didn't really believe them until I started to read this stuff. Rick didn't like it much. When I told him if he didn't like it, he could get off my ship. In his anger, he smashed one of the screens, shorting out the terminal. That that flubbering banana came down here to get ready for my dive and found Rick slipping out of the room and sneaking away. I checked my gear and it looked like the rebreather mask had been tampered with. I took it and showed it to old man Darwin. He used to help Dad back in the day, and he said it was not only is it tampered with, it was not the first time he had seen the same. He told me a story about the time the same thing happened to my dad a couple of months before he was shot. I asked if Rick was involved with that dive that day, and he said yes. Not only that, but he was also present and was the only witness when my dad got shot. been searching the ship for Rick with some of the other settlers. Went back to confront him, but he was gone with one of the guns that was found below. After searching all day, we finally found him in one of the shipping containers. He was barricaded in pretty good. There was no way out to get him. Mum thought she could talk him out. I tried to stop her, but she just ran inside. He wasted no time in shooting her. That banana finally collapsed today from dehydration and hunger. Some wanted to just kill him, and I said no. We have been peaceful settlement for over 100 years. No wars, no fighting, and no crime. I said there needs to be a trial. He needs to be charged and sentenced for his crimes. My first official act as leader of the settlement. Plus, I want him conscious for his death. And I need to tend to my mum. She had been lying there for 3 days, and Rick was found guilty today in the death of both my mum and dad. It turns out he was also one of the blood donors. The night that Dad died, he was the one who was hooked up to him. The doctor said that Dad died of blood loss and believes that Rick was pinching the line to keep Dad from getting blood. They weren't able to prove he shot Dad, but the bullet pulled from Dad was the same caliber as the gun he was carrying until he lost it into the ocean shortly after Dad's death. He was also found guilty of attempted murder of me. Dad and half of the settlement he shot while we tried to apprehend him. It was decided by the settlement to chain him to a stone and dump him into the ocean. And you can't find his body. Because I don't like to swear on YouTube, because I can't actually get penalised for it, and I just don't like to swear on YouTube. So you'll actually hear me saying apple, banana and pears or flubber or things like that instead of actual swear words. Amy gave birth to my son today. Sticking with the tradition, we're going to name him Peter after my father and his father's father. The landing party got attacked again today. They went inland, second time this year. Another attack. This time they hit the landing party. Could even get docked. Couldn't be the same group. It's not possible unless they've taken over the entire East Coast. Been a steady stream of attacks on our landing party every time we go inland. Starting to run low on some of the medicines now, and we're going to need to figure out something different, maybe further south or to the east even. I don't think I would be safe for us to go back to the East Coast. I believe it is the same group now over the years since my father was shot. I think they have been watching us and are trying to get the tug so they can get us out here. Flip. Yeah, for flip's sake. I've used that one too. Going east for several years, wasn't much to find there. But we did manage to stock back up on our needed supplies. But like they say, all good things and all that. Wasn't long before we got attacked there as well. These people seem to be organised and dressed more like the military. Bob and Jason were killed and they barely made it back here with the tug. going to try the East Coast again. It's been 5 years since we were there last. I'm sure that gang's moved on by now. We were stocked on supplies pretty good, so I decided to wait for as long as possible before we try inland again. Give us something to repair and to tug and armour plate some of the vital components as well as the cruise area. I'm going to start taking one of those Atlantean guns with me from now on. Oh, night night, Sam, and thank you very much for keeping us company. And same to yourself. Got a few trips inland before we were attacked again. This time I think it may have been the same people who attacked us several years ago in Europe. They had a boat and they tried to chase us, but thankfully I had that gun and we are armour plated the tug. Managed to damage their boat enough with that gun so we could get away. We're going to need to stop going inland and figure something else out. Right. Okay. Started to run low on supplies again and decided to head down to South America to see what we can find there. Met a group of ghouls living at the Temple of the Moon complex. They were friendly and were able to trade them some water for the supplies we needed. I think we finally found a safe source for supplies. The landing party didn't make it today. On their way back from South America, the tug was attacked by several people in boats. Only Dad and Henry made it back and both were shot several times. Dad said he managed to sink the other boats though. He's not looking too good. I'm not sure if he's going to make it. It took a month and a half of laying there in that bed for me to get to the point where I could stand on my own 2 feet again, barely. Peter has done a great job running this place in my absence. I may just leave him in charge and help Shelley with the kids. She's got a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old. It'll be good for me to spend time with my grandkids. We lost Dad last night. He went while sleeping. He had a very hard life and I can't believe he made it this far. Thought for sure he was gone after he was shot, but he's always been a strong person. At least the kids and I got to spend some time with him before he went. Shelley and I have been teaching them about the Atlantean culture to distract them. We've been running out of supplies lately and was considering trying another run to find more. We voted and the settlement voted to not go. It's been years since Dad was shot and we haven't gone out since. If we don't go out soon, then we will completely run out of medicine. The kids are doing better now. Losing their grandfather was hard on them. They have really taken an interest in the family's work though. Well, we've been out of medicine for 6 months now and I decided to go alone if I had to. Fortunately, some of the others felt the same as me. We decided instead of a 4-man crew, we would send 10 with Atlantean guns. All they're going for is medicine, and if they found any, they wouldn't need much room in the tug. Got down there and could get the tug to turn over. Must have let it sit for too long. Dad told me about that guy who may be able to help us. He left a net address to get a hold of him. It'd be nice for the kids to meet him. Got the files, I can see he's something called a ghoul. Oh God, Shelley, those guys turned out to be the same people who have been attacking our landing parties. They've got everyone drunk last night and the other guys with robots got onto their boats and attacked the ship. Shelley went out to check on people before the attack. Last I saw of her, she was running down the gangway with 2 guys chasing her. telling me to lock the doors. I did. I managed to lock the lower part of the ship. Right, guys, this is where it starts to get a little bit tough. Okay, so far it's been sort of like thing, but I'm just going to warn you all, this is where it does start to get a little bit tougher. Groove really did dig deep for some of the writing on this stuff. As I say, it can give me 1 wee second here. I'm going to actually make myself a roll up. And once we're finished here, we will be going and picking up the guns. So, yeah, there are some nice toys here for us. Those bananas, a bunch of them came to the door today with Shelley. The things they did to her. I turned off the monitors, but I could still hear her through the door. She kept saying, don't open it. I told the kids to stay in the bathroom and then turn on both the washer and the dryer, hoping to drown it out. They shouldn't have to hear that. I got one of those Atlantean guns. I was going to go out there, but what if I hit her? What if they shoot me? It sounded like there were a lot of them out there. If they get in here, what will happen to Ellen? What will they do to Mary? It's better to keep the door closed. She's right. I'm sorry, Shelley. After 2 days of torture, they finally killed Shelley when they realised that I wasn't going to open the door. I think they figured out earlier, but they prolonged their surfing for their own amusement. I turned the security monitors back on. They have started to loot the ship. Several boats, one pushing the barge, showed up with an army, and it started to strip the ship. Fortunately, the kids and I have enough food to hold us out for a while. Hopefully someone comes and helps us soon. They've torn down all the cameras now, so I can no longer see what they're doing. It's going on 6 months now, and these guys are still here. I'm sure they're looking for the Atlantean weapons. Dad and Granddad sunk some of their boats with the guns. That's probably why they haven't used the explosives on the doors. They did on one of the doors leading to the storage area. It sounded like. The kids and I are starting to run low on food. I've been skipping some meals to ensure there's more for them. The kids died in their sleep last night. We ran out of food 3 days ago and water yesterday. I'm not feeling good myself. With Mary and Alan dead, there's no reason to keep the door locked anymore. Those assholes can have what they want, as long as I can die next to my Shelley. I warned you, it got a little bit tough. So this tells you all about the rise of Atlantis and the story of everything. And hey Tommy, welcome to the stream. And that's the Epics of Grognock. And here you find out about the Great Flood that actually caused Atlantis to land under the water. This door is inaccessible. And this door is Goodies Heaven. So here you are, everybody. Now, I am not actually going to take all of it with me. I'll take as much as I can, but unfortunately I'm on survival, which means all ammo weighs. So, and I'll actually let you. So there's the gun, or one of the guns. There's the sniper. And there's the pistol. And here you have the Warhammer, which I will let you see. As I said, I need to take off the Ring of Hercules because it does actually thing. Here you actually have the masks. So for rebreathers, if you don't have Aqua Boy or Aqua Girl perk and you're wanting to explore below, that's the rebreathers. And here you have the Atlantean helmets. I will let you see. And here you've got Grognok outfits. So now if you want, you can dress yourself and all of your companions as Grognok. That was him trying to get out the door to Shella. And that was who we ran past earlier, around here killing all of these. So there you are. That's the story behind the tug. And now I need to try and find my way back out. Groove, what have you done to me? I've got lost again. Oh, do you know what it is? I'm cheating. Oh, well, that took me downstairs. That was no good. Yeah, no problem, Groove. That is true. The main story is the idea of Grognok the Barbarian, and the stories of Grognok the Barbarian actually come from stories of Grognok, who was actually an Atlantean. Groove is going to stream it all for you later. Okay, so there's my general chaos out here right now. 1 second, and I shall take off this ring, because the Ring of Hercules actually increases your damage you do with all melee weapons. So they will actually come up. So like that is 254, but with the Ring of Hercules on, it's 1409. The Warhammer is a 5459. As you can see, it also does energy damage, right? And the X does 3960. Yep, the carry weight is actually very, very light on it. As you can see, it's 5.2, and the Atlantean axe is only weight of 2, and the Ring of Hercules actually puts up your carry weight as well. Compared to the Grognok axe, the Grognok axe actually takes a hell of a lot more. Now, bear with me a second, people. Now, I actually need to take some of these off a second. But actually I need the Cloud Walkers on a minute. Right. Around here, you will actually find there is a chain. Okay. Now it's not the chain, that one up there was the anchor. But here there is actually a chain. Now I can't actually see it at the moment. I probably could if I take off and look under. But at the bottom of that chain is actually the man that you heard them speaking about. The one that killed his father and all the rest of it is actually at the bottom of that chain. And where are we? Map. That way a bit? No, that way. Yeah, there. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to my tug that you can see there, and then from the tug, as you can see, Atlantis is starting to appear below us. So you see we picked up that amulet. I'm sure you're wondering what the amulet's going to open up for you, everybody. And as for the couple are actually buried, I believe it's behind the bar, down behind the bar. I actually found the graves of the couple. I'm just not 100% sure. So you can see here from the work that's actually been put into it. And there's the bar there. Oh, typical. I can't actually get into the water because it's sort of overhanging a little bit, because I actually had another ring on at the same time, which was my own mistake. You should never actually use any other ring with it. While we're at it, I'm near enough sure they're actually buried somewhere around here. But in that building, if you go down, there's a button. If you push the button and you go in, there are doors, and the amulet we actually just used opens up in there. So, and you'll see what you find in there. You will find another amulet, and you're going to take it over there. But you'll have to see what you're going to get from it all. Now that I get her back across. In what way, Pavel? I need to sleep so we can save all of that. There we are. Well, I'm not surprised I'm hungry. the stairs. In we go. And the Commonwealth. I'm far too random for anything like that. I really am. That's me and Groove were talking about last night about those people and their diaries and things like that. I actually do love to write. I'm a very creative person. I love writing and baking and all that type of stuff. But as I said, I mean, I have a calendar in my kitchen. I have written things down on top of it. And you know that calendar is actually still sitting on February. Technically, right now in the UK here, we've actually just hit April, and it's still on February. My brain couldn't keep a straight line like that. That's why Fallout works so well for me, because my brain can't actually function on a straight line in that way. So now there is the computer here. This is called Adam's Log, and this is the story about the guy who actually owns this tug that went across the Atlantis, and everything to do with Adam and Adam's wife Eve. Believe it or not, Adam was actually around at the beginning of CIT. He helped some of the people to secure things, and Eve actually was a member of the original CIT, and she left CIT to join with Adam and to be with Adam. So now, for anybody that missed it last night, these are the houses. This is the island that basically you heard them and say the tech all of a sudden came to life and they didn't understand it and everything else. This is what rose from the ocean. So as you see, you have got a workbench, so you can like alter things and all the rest of it. These are just little apartments. I will actually let you see one of the apartments. You see, I actually refused to acknowledge that my character was a pre-war lawyer, because I just do. And I have actually used the uncut content mod, and I've actually seen the computer entries from Nora, and they were not actually the nicest thing. She's a bit of an attitude about herself, and she had a real attitude about her work, so not really a type of person I would want to play as. Real typical lawyer stuff there, so there was. So right, let's hurry up and load up. It takes longer to go into the apartment than it does to come out of the apartment, and it's just because it's loading through so much. As you can see, there's everything under the water that Groove did. There's everything over at the ships that Groove did, and then there was everything here at the island that was done as well. It's serious creative mind, like. But as I say, as mods are, they're not easy to get through. I still have nightmares about rad roaches after doing the railroad safe house quest. So these are the little apartments that you can fix up for, if you want to keep them for your companions, you know. I still love these chandeliers, like I think they're absolutely beautiful. And I've managed to get myself stuck. As typically me. See, you get back out the door faster than you do going through. Don't know what's going on with it. Right, and I shall be back in 2 wee seconds. This is going to load through here, and I will be back in 2 seconds, guys. sorry about that. So, well, the only sort of role playing I really do, Pavel, is here in DC or in the Commonwealth. I'm Brotherhood of Minutemen, and I do believe, because I have military family past and things like that, that there would be a peace deal between the pair of them. I do honestly believe that. If you take me to New Vegas, I become Kaiser's Legion. My own personal reasons. Not a fan of the NCR. I read too much on the NCR's history and know too much about the NCR. And if you take me to DC, I'm an outcast. That's really that's about the best I can sort of do with them. So here, let me show you all around. I've already killed everybody over there. But as you can see, you're quite close to most areas. And step onto the lift. Yes, guys and dolls, this is your lift. And the door just bashed me up the face again. And up the steps. Oh, thank you very much. And here is your bedroom. So I suppose this you could sort of have for like a companion's retreat or something like that, you know what I mean? This you can actually sit in your bath with the infinity look of it and just look out over everything. And as you see, you have a waterfall there. I love that apartment over there. I've got special little places I sort of keep for me. One's the lake house that came from Groove's James Bond mod. Coastal Cottage I let my companions all stay at. I don't keep them at Sanctuary or anything else. I use the mod by Madrox for Coastal Cottage, and I keep all of my things there. This is, do you know why McCready's always saying he feels safe with a rocky cave roof over his head? That's because this is McCready's new house. This is where McCready's going to move into. I'm just going to leave him here, and you'll be happy. You'll be ecstatic. I actually left him, believe it or not, months and months ago at Coastal Cottage with just the cave there. I actually put a bed in, and you know, I couldn't get him back out of the cave. No joke. He just stayed in the cave, and I was just like, right, okay, well, I think the game had actually glitched out, but I thought it was quite funny, so I just left him in the cave. Right, and then over we go. I'll let you take a look at this one. Now there is a little small apartment here. Well, someday I'll get round to getting another one, but it's not my biggest concern at the minute. I've got a few other things I need to sort out before hawking out what I need for a new gaming PC. As that is not going to be cheap, trust me. And this is the main apartment. I have another game here. It's Zombie. I believe it was called Zombie U on one of the other systems, but it was released out for the PlayStation 4. Unfortunately, I haven't actually got any other PlayStation 4 games. The reason actually being for it is I I took pretty ill and basically had to give up working, um, so I couldn't actually afford things. So I've had to basically sort of cut back on a lot of stuff. But I do sort of have a lot of PlayStation 3 games, like sort of COD, um, Modern Warfare, and Battlefield Bad Company and things like that. So this button closes the roof for you. And this one opens up your balcony. I need to put roses out here. I need to go and help Paladin dance. I've just remembered that. I got distracted again. As you see, that one opens the door right here, and the one beside it darkens out the windows for you. And then over here we have the lift button. And you can head out onto the balcony and stand here at the edge where the waterfall is. I'm not going any closer because I'd probably fall. And the beds you can sleep on, the pillows as you see. It is amazing, like. Of course I'm thirsty. I've never come across a person drink so much in all my life as my character does. Oh yeah, yeah I do. I used to actually have Resistance, Fall of Man, and Resident Evil, and whenever I first started first gaming, it was all Resident Evil and Aliens, the original Aliens with the dog aliens and everything in it. So yeah, when I first started out, it was a lot more about, well, on console, it was the PlayStation 1, it was a lot more about sci-fi games than anything else. There weren't many driving games or those types of things, like, so there weren't. Although the first gaming I ever did was a PC, and it was Pong basically. It was PC TV. It's more a TV game than anything else, like. And here on the island, as you can see, there is a bear, and this bear used to belong to Adam, who ended up shooting himself, and that is his wife Eve's grave. So that's what actually happened to Adam and Eve. And the bear just tried to shove me off the edge of the cliff. What? So everybody, that is the Paradise Island mod, and my boat just vanished in front of me. I don't actually know, I don't have it. Where the hell did my boat just go? And unfortunately, because I actually put on another ring when I actually had that walker one on, unfortunately it has basically, there's my boat back now. Me and that boat's gonna have words. I'm unfortunately, once I reload through, this should actually go away and stop happening on me. So don't use those two rings at once. Well, basically, if you manage to find yourself and get the water walker ring, do not use any other ring with it. If you manage to find them all, that is. Right, well, thank you very much for your company, everybody. It is now 5 to 2 in the morning here, so I may get myself some sleep. So I shall say laters. Thank you very much to Pavel, Sam, Groove, Mage, Madrox earlier on, Pete, and literally everybody that has been through tonight. It has been brilliant to see you all, and thank you very much for your support. It does mean a hell of a lot to me. And I shall hopefully catch us all. I am going to be on later on tonight. My time, it will be later on tonight. It could be tomorrow for everybody else. I will be back later. We shall be doing more survival playthrough and mods and things like that. So I shall say laters, and thank you very much. And thank you very much, Pavel. Stay safe and have fun out there, and I hope that you have actually found the stream helpful. And for anybody that's sort of looking for their way for how to find things, I hope you have found it of help. As I said, advice: if you ever manage to get your hands onto the water walker ring, do not do what I stupidly did, and do not put another ring on. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck with the effect until you load the game back through again. So I shall say laters, peeps. Stay safe, have fun. This is Sentinel out, and I will catch you all on the flip side.